What's going on, guys? JR Sports Cards coming at you with another video today. So, as you saw in the title, I am going to be doing top 5 NBA players' cards that are on the rise right now, and that I think will continue to go on the rise. I mean, there's no guarantees, of course. Injuries, being in the news for the wrong reasons, can definitely hurt a card's value, but I thought I would take some time to kind of go over these 5 players. I did the NFL version of this, so if you want to go check out the NFL version, that was a few days ago, so make sure to go check that out, watch that video, hit the like button. If you aren't already subscribed, drop a subscribe down below. 70% of people who view my videos are not subscribed, so make sure to go subscribe down below. All right, so let's get into this. This is in no particular order, and these are going to be based on starstock.com, from what I've seen trends in the past few days. So first off, Colin Sexton from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think anybody could have seen this one coming, with just the absolute domination against the Nets in that 2-game series there that he had. I mean, he has just been absolutely balling out here, and pulling up his stats right now as we speak, and we can see he's averaging 27 points per game, and prior to this, he's been averaging like a much lower value of that. 2018, playing all 82 games, he averaged about 16 points a game. Last year, he averaged about 20 points a game, and now at 26.8 points per game. I have to argue that is really impressive. And the Cavs weren't really expected to do this well. I mean, they are getting hot down the stretch, or not down the stretch, early in the season, I should say, with Jarrett Allen really playing great down there. We got Darius Garland, and Colin Sexton is just really putting the ball in the basket. He's able to move the ball. It's just been very, very impressive. Yeah, I mean, he's shooting the ball more, making more shots. I mean, he's just becoming a centerpiece of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are actually showing success early on in the season. And his card's already rising, and I expect it to rise even more as the season goes on, especially if he keeps up this performance. Obviously, if he gets injured or something, that's definitely going to hurt the value of any player's card. But Colin Sexton seems as if he looks special for the season. So let's pull up my next player that I recommend, that the card's on the rise, and that's going to be Bradley Beal. So as you guys know, if you've been following basketball at all, you know Bradley Beal has just been lights out the season, 35 points per game, on the same court with Russell Westbrook. I mean, 35 points per game is insane. He's shooting at an insanely well, almost 50% from field goal percentage, about 50%, and 38% from 3, 37.5% from 3. That's pretty impressive. I'm looking to the left here because I have stats pulled up. Can't remember everything here. And it's interesting to see because last season, or actually just throughout his whole career, we've seen a steady increase. He went his rookie year, 14 points per game, jumped to 15, then 17, 23, 25. Last year, he averaged 30 points per game, and he's already up to 35 points per game. So early on in the season, he's shown a lot of promise. Wizards are an team right now. They need to pull it together. They need more bench depth, and as you know, they have some injuries right now, and you know, Thomas Bryant out with that torn ACL. I mean, definitely some not team negativity, but team scares, just based on depth and everything. But overall, Bradley Beal's cards are like skyrocketing right now. Definitely a possible MVP run, along with like Julius Randle or something, who's not on this list, but that's definitely an honorable mention. So yeah, Bradley Beal is looking really special this year, and his cards are definitely on the rise, especially after that Celtics game. That's kind of when he started to take off, when he scored, I believe it was 42, something around there. He had one special game, and ever since then, along with Westbrook on the court, he's just been playing really great. So that's my number 2, or just, you know, one of the 5. My next player here plays for the Utah Jazz. I bet you can guess him. Had a fantastic game last night. Donovan Mitchell. So Donovan Mitchell is special. We saw him in the bubble face off against Jamal Murray, drop 40, 50 points a game. It was just amazing to see when it really comes down to it. And we can even see this season, he's averaging about 24 points per game, so kind of around what he has been averaging for his career. Career-wise, 22.8 rookie season, about 20 and a half. So definitely his best season point per game-wise. He's also making moves in the court with assists and just being able to space the floor well and really take command of the team, be a leader that the Utah Jazz need. So it's been really impressive to watch Donovan Mitchell, and I think the Jazz, obviously they're number 2 in the West right now. So they're a really promising team to go deep into the playoffs. So maybe getting into, people are getting into Donovan Mitchell's cards early on from this really underrated performance, I would argue. And his cards are already starting to rise. You can see them slowly but steadily rising. And I can see maybe down the stretch of this season a possible, big rise here with this playoff contending team, because it is definitely a special team this season. And what we saw from the bubble last year has to be promising to any avid basketball or Jazz fan per se, to see that Donovan Mitchell is going to be really well. And we're already seeing his cards go up with the team's success. So Donovan Mitchell, that's my third one. This next person is someone that was on the radar during the bubble here for a lot of people for potential early on investment here, and that's going to be Gary Trent Jr. So averaging about 11 points per game, having one of the better seasons of his career. He averaged 2.7 in his rookie year, 8.9 last year, and he's already up to 11 points per game on an absolutely stacked Trailblazers scoring threat. You got CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard. I mean, your whole team's scoring threat, so the fact that you can still get shots up is really good. He's about shooting 9 to 10 shots per game, which is really, really good on average, in my opinion. And we can already see a rise in his stock. So actually, during the bubble, a Prism green of him, Gary Trent, was about $40 raw, not even graded or anything. $40. Obviously, in the offseason, as every sport, every player goes through this during the offseason, their value tanked to about $5. And now they're already coming back up. You can probably get a green prism for about $10 or $15, I want to say. So slowly but steadily, they're going up. And again, as I said with Donovan Mitchell, as we see with Donovan Mitchell, Gary Trent Jr.'s stock is going to rise as the Trailblazers' stock rises. And I can definitely see the Trailblazers sneaking into a possible playoff spot down the stretch, and maybe getting to a second or possibly third round, which would be really impressive. As you know, they got smoked by the Lakers last season in the bubble. But Gary Trent Jr. looks special, and we know when a team does well and a player that plays a lot on that team, their value is going to go up, and we can already see Gary Trent Jr. steadily rising. All right, so my last player on this list, and probably the most under-the-radar player in the league right now, that has their stock rise, their cards rising, and I think going to rise even more than we expect, is Keldon Johnson for the Spurs. He has been playing out of his mind compared to what he has been in the past. So obviously last year was his rookie season. He had about 9 points per game. Didn't really have too much of an impact. Only played about 17 minutes a game. Now this season, he's averaging 14.3 points per game, which is much better than 9.1. He's getting in more, 31 minutes, it says here, in his first 16 games that he's played. Only playing 17 games last year compared to 16 games this year. I mean, that's a nice little jump there in minutes, and I can definitely see more production from Keldon Johnson. You can already see as he's been playing more, his card steadily rises. His Prism rookie card steadily rising by a few dollars every week, I would say, maybe every 2 weeks. So it's going to be a slower investment, and his stuff is going to be slower in the rise. But I think the Spurs are definitely an underrated team, and I can definitely see the Spurs again maybe slipping into a playoff spot here, which again is just going to help Keldon Johnson's value. I mean, he's on the floor with DeMar DeRozan, Derek White, DeJounte Murray. I mean, they have LaMarcus Aldridge. They have an absolutely fantastic team. He's surrounded by really good players. LaMarcus Aldridge being a veteran, DeMar DeRozan being a veteran, being able to coach him, help him, mentor him. I think we can see a real rise in Keldon Johnson throughout the season, short term and even long term. I think he's going to be a really good player in the league. But guys, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed these type of videos. You guys enjoyed the NFL one. So I thought I would sit down and do an NBA one for you guys today. But guys, if you did enjoy, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are 9 subscribers away from 1,100 subscribers. We are growing really quickly, so I really appreciate that from every single subscriber, guys. But I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy Football Sunday.